I personally like Timothée Chalamet just because he's pretty broy. Like I feel like if I ran into him at a bar, I was like, "Yo, Timothée Chalamet, I'm a fan." Like he'd actually like kick it with me and like be normal, right? That being said, that is my parasocial projection on him from very highly curated interviews and clips that I see him in, right? I mean, a lot of people say that he's like a jerk, but pretty much every high profile celebrity has those allegations. I do also believe you do need to be kind of sucky to reach his level of success, right? Like, these industries are very screwed up, right? But he said something that really pissed people off, and we're gonna listen to it. Okay.
I admire people, and I've done it myself, to go on a talk show and go, hey, we got to keep movie theaters alive. We got to keep this genre alive. And another part of me feels like if people want to see it, like Barbie, like Oppenheimer, they're going to go see it and go out of their way to be loud and proud about it. And I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
no one
yeah,
cares
yeah,
about
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
anymore. Oh,
Ooh, no one cares about this anymore. Ooh, spicy. Now, let's be real here. Nobody cares about the ballet. All right, that's not really fair because there are lots of people that care deeply about ballet and the opera and stuff like that. But you know, people aren't busting their doors down, right? Like a sold out event in an opera house, I'd have to assume is kind of rare, you know. And it's him basically saying like, I want mainstream success. I want lots of people to know me. I want to be big. I want to be famous, which is also like a very young thing. Very Marty Supreme like, honestly. But times like this, you kind of have to zoom out and remember that you're a multimillionaire who's dating Kylie Jenner and ascended to success and stardom while you were still a kid, pretty much, right? So it's like he doesn't even have a taste of the goddamn real world. He he never even put the real world on his tongue. You feel me? You dig me?
respect to the ballet and opera people out there. I just lost 14 cents in viewership, but damn, I just took shots for no reason.
I mean, it's really not that malicious. Like his charm kind of comes through. Like he's just being goofy and silly. But dick move, bro. Like stop punching down. It's like how many people probably ballet and opera people look up to Timothy Chalamet as like this, great performer and stuff just for him to like shit on them. Plus like his mom and his sister are actually in the ballet. So maybe that's why he feels like comfortable kind of just like shitting on it cuz he feels like he's in the family for that. I don't know.
That's not a shot. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not a shot. Come on. All right, all right. Come on, Matthew McConaughey. It was a shot. You feel me?
So
Sorry.
All right,
I
he's
admire.
dragging it. He was dragging it with that.
Did it. Nigga, I did it.
Oh. Okay.
Timothée Chalamet's recent statements really distasteful and honestly kind of classless. I remember feeling very impacted by his speech. It really resonated with me when he said that he wanted to be one of the
He said, "Do not give this man an Oscar." See, this is why you don't tell people what you want in life because people will straight up conspire to make sure you don't get it, right? I mean, in this case, it might be justified. I don't know if someone that shits on such a huge art form should necessarily be praised like with the biggest award in his field. Maybe not, right? Maybe not. I feel like that joke is warranting him losing an Oscar if the committee gets so offended by it. But damn, like you really pissed him off. Like this lady right here looked like his key demographic, boy.
greats. So I don't understand this transition from I want to be one of the greats, I know this is like not a good thing to admit, to shitting on opera, to shitting on ballet, and then referring to his audience as a commodity.
There's a very specific moment when public opinion around a celebrity starts to shift. For years, Timothée Chalamet was widely viewed as a cultured, artsy actor of his generation. The soft-spoken indie darling who spoke French, quoted literature, and seemed more comfortable discussing cinema history rather than chasing Hollywood fame. But over the last year or so,
What I think people forget is that like they change before our eyes, right? Like to my understanding, Timothée Chalamet isn't necessarily a nepo baby, or at least not to the degree of like Miley Cyrus or something. Like his family was in the arts that probably helped him get on the right path to build his career quickly, but he I don't think he was like flying on private jets when he was a kid or anything. So when he's coming across as like a soft-spoken pretty boy, like it was relatable because it was, and that's why we love celebrities when they first pop off, because it's like, damn, yo, that could be me. But then 10 years later, it's like, who the hell are you? You know what I mean? Like, why do you think you're better than us? Oh, right, because we've been telling you that for a decade. Fuck, our bad shit.
Carefully constructed image has started to crack. Between a series of polarizing interviews, increasingly aggressive publicity tactics, and now his controversial comments around the opera and ballet, many people feel like they're seeing a very different version of Timothée Chalamet. And for some audiences,
it's that Kylie Jenner pussy, yo. It happened to Travis Scott too. It makes you an asshole. I don't know. Or maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
The feeling has shifted from toleration to frustration. And the question is, has Timothée been trying so hard to prove he isn't some fragile, artsy intellectual that he's ended up alienating the very cultural world that helped build his career? So before we even get to the opera and ballet controversy that recently set the internet on fire, it's important to understand that this backlash didn't come out of nowhere. It's really been building over the past couple of years, particularly during the recent awards season cycle when Timothée was receiving major recognition for portraying Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown. When he won the Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Male Actor in a Leading Role, he delivered a speech about his pursuit of greatness and his desire.
Well, this isn't really related. Call Me by Your Name, overrated. And also, too, I'm not saying that because it's a gay movie, right? The gay sex scenes did make me a little uncomfortable, but it was more the age gap that really bothered me, I mean, they did get pretty explicit. Didn't love it, but I've tolerated that kind of stuff in other movies. I just think that movie's overrated. I never got what the plot was trying to get at, maybe I'll rewatch it one day, but I don't know why that popped him off. That shit sucked.
To be one of the best actors of his generation.
It's an honor I share with Monica, Elle, Edward, the entire cast who, in a genre, doing a biopic that could be perhaps tired. Everyone gave it their all. So I'm deeply grateful to them. And lastly, I can't downplay the significance of this award because it means the most to me. And I know we're in a subjective business, but the truth is I'm really in pursuit of greatness. I know people don't usually talk like that, but I want to be one of the greats. I'm inspired by the greats. I'm inspired by the greats here tonight. I'm as inspired by Daniel Day-Lewis, Marlon Brando, and Viola Davis as I am by Michael Jordan and Michael Phelps, and I want to be up there. So I'm deep.
He's very Gen Z coded, and he has a charm to him. Like, I don't hate Timothée Chalamet because he shit on the ballet. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, I just don't really give that much of a fuck. But I also have been an artist. I've been belittled by a bigger artist, and that shit sucks. You know what I mean? He kind of deserves the hate. Like, you know what I mean? Even though I don't care, like, he deserves the hate from the people that care about that stuff.
Grateful to that. This doesn't signify that, but it's a little more fuel. It's a little more ammo to keep going.
Now, personally, I actually found the speech to be refreshing. In an industry where performers often downplay ambition, it was interesting to hear someone openly say that they want to be great. But for many viewers, the speech came across as try-hard or overly self-righteous. And it sparked that commentary suggesting that Timothée might be taking himself a little too seriously. That perception only intensified when older interviews resurfaced during the same award cycle. In one widely circulated quote, Timothée explained that early in his career, he was rejected from blockbuster franchises like The Maze Runner and Divergent because casting directors told him he didn't have the right body type for action films.
He is a rep for twinks everywhere. He's a rep for twinks everywhere, bro. He really is. There's not a muscle on that man. Some girls like that. Alright? I mean, there's barely a muscle on me. Hey, so he's representing for the skinny boys. Alright? The xylophone chest, right? They be having their way too. Shout out to the skinny boys.
Timothée said, "I will always get the same feedback. Oh, you don't have the right body. I had an agent call me once and say, I'm tired of getting the same feedback. We're going to stop submitting you for these bigger projects because you're not putting on weight. I was trying to put on weight. I just couldn't. I basically couldn't. My metabolism or whatever the F couldn't do it."
Damn, that's really hard. I mean, also, too, I feel like the beauty standards for men, especially when it comes around size and strength, are just not even really talked about, Like, if you're a skinny dude especially, it's like people be like, oh, just eat more. Oh, hit the gym. Like, any kind of, like, male body issue is viewed as, like, a personality flaw. You know, when a woman is big, it's like, oh, that's just your body. Like, you feel me? Big is beautiful or whatever. People don't say that shit to fat niggas, bro. They shit don't say that. They don't say that to skinny niggas, bro. They just don't. You know, men don't get that treatment, right? You feel me? A girl
I was
will laugh in your face for being short at a club. Like, it's really out of control.
knocking on one door that wouldn't open, so I went to what I thought was a more humble door, but actually ended up being explosive for me. On the surface, this origin story can be chalked up to just a young actor describing the realities of Hollywood casting, but some people, like myself, interpreted that comment differently. It sounded less like someone who intentionally chose the indie film path out of artistic passion, and more like someone who pursued smaller films because the blockbuster industry initially closed its doors to him.
Ooh, and yeah, that's what nobody likes in any artistic scene. Oh, I couldn't make it over here, so let me go over here to this simpler shit that, like, anybody could do. Like, it's not good. And look, and part of me gets it because, like, I think that's part of what artists should do. Like, you have your initial target, and then you kind of realign with something that might be a little bit more inclusive and a little bit more suited to your personal skills, right? Like, I've done that with music, like going from rap to EDM. But the problem is when you do that, you gotta respect where you're going. You feel me? You gotta. And I'm sure he does. Like, I'm sure he respects indie film, Timothée Chalamet. Like, I'm sure he does. But your words matter. Like, he's very influential.
That interpretation started to shift the narrative around Timothy's career, from the idea of a pure indie artist to someone who may have simply taken a different route toward the same mainstream success he always wanted. Then came a series of smaller but viral moments that kept adding.
Before I forget, this is Why Everyone Hates Timothée Chalamet, and it's by Ashley Kyra, only 7,000 subscribers. All right, so if you're watching this, go subscribe to her.
To the entitlement conversation. Actress Sarah Paulson jokingly told a story on a podcast about Timothy taking one of her cookies at an event, which might sound completely trivial, but the internet has a way of turning minor innocent tidbits into personality judgments.
Yeah, he came up to me at Sunset Tower. And I was eating, and he's like, "I wanted to say hi. We went to high school together." And then he just started eating the cookies on my plate.
And
I
the
was
best
like,
is the reaction, which,
Yeah.
and I've told the story many
"Go
times.
ahead, take it."
He seriously seems like he's Marty Supreme in, like, real life. Like, he's really just like a twerpy, like, charismatic, like, hey. I mean, that's just like fucking girls out of his league. Like, he's like, hey, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I just still kind of like him. Like, I just do. You feel me? It's like celebrities have that effect on us, right?
Reaction is this: I have to, because you don't know. I mean, maybe you do. So
Were you there?
I
Did you
was
see it?
having dinner with her, and he just reached out and he like took a bite, and you do not mess. You just you don't mess with Sarah, and B, you don't mess with her dessert.
No, not my dessert.
And so I was like, how is this going to play out? And she goes, "Are you just going to eat the cookie?"
Yeah,
Oh, you're just going to eat the cookie. And he was like,
yeah. And he's like, "I'm Timothée Chalamet. I'm gonna eat whatever the fuck I
That's
want."
entitlement.
Yeah, it was. I know who I am, and I know who I am in the firmament, and I know what it's gonna be now.
And I can eat your cookie.
And I can eat your cookie if I want.
And was
to.
this
And I was
like-
kind of like,
I mean, it seems like this would be innocent, but, like, kind of the way they're talking about it, they seem kind of pissed off about it, to be honest. I don't know. Like, that is actually pretty rude. And, like, when you do it to a woman as well, it's like they might interpret that as, oh, you're doing this because I'm a woman and you didn't know I won't beat your ass for eating my cookie. Would he have done that to a man? I don't know, Timothée Chalamet. Probably. I mean, possibly. He's pretty rich. He is, like, one of the biggest actors in Hollywood, so regardless of your age or stature, like, he can really say whatever the fuck to you, and you just got to eat that. Also has happened to me in the entertainment industry. It's not a fun feeling.
Suddenly, that story was circulating online as evidence, fair or unfair, that he may be a little entitled or overly confident behind the scenes. Moments like that may not matter individually, but collectively, they began to chip away at the carefully curated image people.
We build them up so we can tear them down. Because at the end of the day, I feel like people realize it's like, because jealousy kicks in, number one. You know what I mean? Especially in, like, really tough economic times. It's like, why the fuck am I spending my money, spending my time devoted to you while you fucking zip off on a jet and you're not even fucking nice to your waiters? And then also, too, it's like their little flaws, like, we feel like they shouldn't have flaws because they've been entitled to so much. It's like, no, you can't you know, fucking be kind of rude at a fucking Burger King one time, because guess what, motherfucker, I got your poster on my wall. Is that completely fair? No, but the society that creates ultra powerful celebrities that are immune from consequences isn't fair either, you know? It's, you know, and I don't know.
Him. Things escalated further during the promotional campaign for his recent film Marty Supreme. Anyone who followed that press tour probably noticed a shift in tone. The outfits were louder, the interviews were more chaotic, and the overall vibe felt intentionally.
Yo, fucking look at this guy. There's something about him that I'm wearing the same outfit, bro.
Unpredictable. From rapping during appearances to showing up in oversized hoodies and unconventional styling choices.
Oh boy.
Again, none of this is inherently wrong. Actors reinvent their public image all the time, but for audiences who already felt Timothée was becoming overexposed, the spectacle of that publicity tour started to feel like too much. Instead of the quiet, introspective actor people once associated with films like Call Me By Your Name, the public was suddenly seeing someone who seemed determined to prove he could be edgy, funny, chaotic, and culturally plugged in all at once. Around that same time, his profile in his November...
The second you start trying to prove things to people, you've already lost. I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but just rule of thumb. Do things to prove it to yourself, really.
2025 Vogue issue generated even more debate. In that interview, Chalamet spoke openly about his disappointment after losing the Oscar for Best Actor earlier in the year. He said, if there's 5 people at an award show and 4 people go home losing, you don't think those 4 people are at the restaurant like, man, why didn't we win? I've been around some deeply generous, no-ego actors, and maybe some of them are going, that was fun. But I know for a fact a lot of them are going, people could call me a tryhard, they could say whatever the F, but I'm the one actually doing it here. You don't want to...
I kind of respect him more for saying that. I mean, because every actor's like, oh, you know, blah, 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 blah. And that's why, like, everyone has, like, this weird perception of, like, success. Like, oh, if I become successful, then everything will be happy for me. You know, jealousy disappears and all this shit because all these celebrities are so curated to look like they're having a great time all the time. You know? And I think there's a little line to it because also nobody wants to hear a celebrity complain. Being a celebrity is probably a hard life, right? It's probably a hard life. I have like 50,000 followers, and sometimes people will fucking comment something. I'm like, damn, that's mean, right? So it's like, you know,
being too declarative, but I also don't want to look back on life and things I've put out and go, oh, little old me, hey, see the movie if you want, it is what it is. No, at worst, you've rubbed people the wrong way, and at best, someone will get pulled in and go, hey, this guy really thinks this thing's worthy. Usually award season narratives emphasize humility or gratitude, so hearing an actor publicly acknowledge frustration about losing such a prestigious award struck fans as refreshingly honest. But others saw it as evidence that his pursuit of an Oscar might be becoming a little too obvious.
It's a little too obvious, but it's like, come on, like he wants one. Wouldn't anyone want one, right? If you're an actor? Everyone wants to be given the biggest award in their field. And I almost feel like him campaigning for this motherfucking Oscar, it's definitely hurting him, though. Because ultimately, I want the Oscar for Best Actor to go to whoever deserves it, right? But all this shit is very political. The Academy is very political. People that have won in the past, it's very political. The best man rarely wins. This is a case where I think Timothée Chalamet is the best man, but him wanting it so openly is getting in his way, and he's self-sabotaging by opening and running his goddamn mouth, right? So do I hate Timothée Chalamet now? Not really. I mean, you know, is he kind of a dweeb? I guess. Would I smoke a blunt with him? Sure. Timothy, if you ever see this video, man, don't take it personally, bro. You're cool.